Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some r/AmITheDevil for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading the posts, giving you my own opinion, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Cross-post from r/relationships. Am I the asshole for trying to verify a dating app match after she wouldn't answer my calls, and then she dumped me? So I, 34 male, just got out of a long separation from my wife, and I've got 2 great kids. I'm trying to get back into dating. You know, looking for something new. Yesterday, I matched with Lady, 25 female, on a dating app. We chatted for a few hours, and honestly, we seemed to hit it off. I felt a connection. So, I asked for her number, and she gave it to me. Later that night, I wanted to keep the conversation going, so I asked if I could talk on the phone. She said she was busy, and that it was late, suggesting we could talk in the morning. I thought, okay, a little weird, but maybe she's just tired. But then I thought, if you're interested, you make time, right? I tried calling a few more times just to see if she'd pick up, but she didn't. This is where I started to get suspicious. Why wouldn't someone who just gave you their number answer a quick call? I figured she might be messing with me. Maybe it was a fake account or something. I'm not a tech genius, but I know about IP addresses tracking things. So I look up hers and texted her and said, "Your IP's address tracks you to a fake account." I just wanted to see what she'd say, to call her bluff. God, that's not how any of that works. She seemed confused and asked what I was talking about. I kept repeating it because I was pretty sure I had her. It took her a while to realize I meant IP address, and then she got really defensive. She texted back, "So basically, you're a weirdo trying to look up my information for whatever reason," which is exactly why I use a Google Voice number. At this point, I felt like I'd caught her in a lie. Using a Google Voice number just screams fake or hiding something to me. I told her I exposed her and called her stupid for trying to fool me with a fake account. She kept trying to explain it, saying it wasn't fake. It was a Google Voice number for privacy, but I just saw it as her trying to worm her way out of being caught. I told her she was dumb and stupid for not understanding she was busted. To prove me wrong, she sent me a live photo of herself, and okay, it was definitely her. I felt pretty dumb then. I texted back saying, "I feel stupid, that's my bad." I apologized, figuring we could move past it. But then she completely shut me down. She sent this long, formal text saying my behavior was completely unacceptable, calling me disrespectful and controlling, and saying she was no longer interested. She said it wasn't up for debate. I was floored. After I admitted I was wrong, she just cut me off? I told her she was weird as heck and had issues. I said normal people just call each other and don't use fake numbers or fake accounts. I pointed out that we could have talked on the phone and hit it off, but now she'll never know because she's very weird. Am I the asshole here? I was just trying to protect myself and make sure I wasn't being catfished. She was the one using a weird number and avoiding my calls. I apologized when I realized my mistake. Is it really that wrong to want to verify someone you meet online? But you are like the textbook reason why women use like Google Voice numbers. I just want you to know that. Because to break it down, what happened was you met a girl, she gave you her number, she told you she wasn't interested in calling until tomorrow morning. She then received numerous calls back to back to back, trying to get her attention, after she told you that she was busy and it was late and that you guys could talk in the morning. Upon her rejecting your phone calls because she was probably exhausted, you then used whatever information you gathered from an episode of NCIS and decided to hit her with, "I've traced your IP's address and know you're using a fake account." Which isn't how that works, by the way. Unless the dating app severely fucked up network security. Which I know for a fact if you call it an IP's address, you wouldn't know how to look for that. So you then went and continually accused her of using a fake account And then when she revealed that she was using a Google Voice number, which is still a real number, just a number that keeps them safe, you then doubled down on it until you received a photo. Then you just thought, oh, well, I was wrong. I could just apologize, despite you spending, the moment you got her number being weirdly obsessive over her and trying to either get her to talk to you or prove that she was a fake account. All while she had told you that she was busy and tired. And then after all of the events that I just laid out for you, she decided, you're probably not going to be a good fit for me, and sent you a formal text message that she was no longer interested in pursuing a potential relationship with you, which is within her right to do so. You got kind of creepy, you got really pushy, and you were being a complete asshat about it. And that's what you get. You should have just waited until the morning, like she asked. Honestly, one of the sadder parts of this isn't even the first time that we've seen a guy freak out over a girl using a Google Voice number. I mean, you might be thinking, oh, this is deja vu. Oz has already read this one. But nah. This one was posted less than 23 hours ago. The previous one was from nearly 4 months ago, and unfortunately I do not remember exactly which episode it was in, but it would have been around that time frame. So yeah, no wonder why they're using Google Voice numbers. Ugh. Cross posted to r/relationship advice. How do I, 32 male, apologize after accidentally offending my friend, 28 male? Disclaimer, I just want to be clear, I find cheating abhorrent and didn't encourage my friend to cheat. Anyone who cheats is a disgusting pig. What a fucking disclaimer to put before the post, bud. Recently, I made a new friend. Him and his wife just bought a condo and we stay in the same building. When we met, we just clicked. Just 30 minutes ago, I just offended him, and he left me here at the bar. We decided to grab happy hour. See, he was telling me the story about how long him and his wife have been together and how they've been going steady since freshman year of high school. I can tell he loves his wife, and they're apparently thinking of trying for a baby. Now, I get he thinks he loves his wife, but he never really got to test things out. His wife is the only person he's been with, and my advice to him is to test things out before having a baby. Not to cheat, but just to get to know other women so he knows if this is actually his person. No sex or anything, just normally I wouldn't recommend it, but this is an unusual circumstance. He thought I was encouraging him to cheat and said I'm disrespecting his relationship, and as I tried to explain, he ignored me. He paid his tab and left. I'm gonna probably give him some space, but would love some ideas on when and how to talk to him when I see him. It is quite unfortunate that a mentality like this exists. Hey, buddy, friend, pal, how is he supposed to test things out, as you put it? Not cheating, but testing things out with other women. Because in my book, and this is my opinion and everyone feels differently about this, emotional cheating is worse than physical cheating. That's just how I feel about it. Other people have different preferences, but for me, how is he going to test things out without cheating on his wife? Huh? I mean, this is someone who has only dated his wife since the freshman year of high school. They are now married. You guys are in your 30s. Well, okay, you're 32 and he's 28. He's almost in his 30s. 16 years of them being happily in a relationship. I think he has a pretty good idea if he's actually happy with this woman or not. That's just my opinion. Kind of like how it's just your opinion that testing things out with other women isn't cheating. Like, can you please explain to me how you're going to test things out? Like genuinely. Like, I looked through his comments to see if maybe he explains what he means by testing things out without it being cheating. But the most that I can find is just him vehemently trying to defend the fact of there's a difference between being friends with a woman and actually seeing if you have a romantic connection. The fact that I have experience dating has allowed me to be a better husband for my wife. It would benefit both of them, and they could take things and apply it to their relationship. I get if they would rather not. I respect his choice, but don't want it to impact our relationship. There are several more like this, including one saying, "Oh, you think this is a gotcha? But I would give her the same advice." If I'm gonna be honest, here's what I think happened. I think he did recommend that he should cheat on his wife, but then got spooked by his reaction and is now trying to figure out how to fix this without actually admitting to what he just recommended to his quote-unquote friend. And now that the Reddit comments are quickly turning against him, which they're right to do so, he's opted to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, septuple down on his opinion, including comments that include the phrase, "I still think it would be best for him to take my advice." I really wish he would have explained how you would have tested things out without it being cheating. Anyone have any fucking idea? Cross-posted from r/medadvice. My wife and I are near divorce/separation. Can I get some advice on what to do to get back in her good graces? Okay, here's the situation. I, male 47, lied to my wife, female 46, on multiple occasions, and now, every time I think things are smoothing out, they just get worse. Context. We've been married for 16 years, known each other for 22, have 4 kids, 17, 14, 12, and 10. Our oldest has a disability and requires assistance with all daily living tasks. I'm a teacher, and she's a program director for a nonprofit. For the last couple of years, we've made about the same money. We live in a 1,500 square foot house with 1 bathroom. Situation. I have 5 high school friends that I have kept in touch with through a text thread. Some of our humor on the thread gets pretty raunchy. In 2022, the raunchiest of them all was drunk at a wedding and was texting stuff about all the "oh shit, fuck that," and was texting stuff about all the jailbait at the wedding. My wife saw it, not uncommon. We use each other's phones all the time, and she made it clear that this type of humor is a deal breaker for her. I blocked the guy. Last year for the March Madness pool we were running, there were so many texts, and I was having trouble keeping track of the conversations, so I unblocked him for the tournament. After it was over, I left him unblocked. The raunchiness was even worse than before, but I thought if I just deleted the gross jokes, it wouldn't be anything to worry about. The worst jokes, though, were of a sexual nature and involving students. 4 out of 6 of us on the text thread are high school teachers. There were a few of them. So first week of March, my wife grabs my phone to use the flashlight app and find her phone. She gets to the app menu and types in F. And the first thing that pops up is a recent text from this guy who she thought I still had on block. His name starts with F. She was really mad but didn't go 0 to 60. After a couple of days, we talked about it and she asked to go through my phone. She asked if there would be anything awful that I should warn her about, and I said no. She looked for a while, then found the deleted text folder. That's when it hit the fan. She was mad I lied, mad that I brought this kind of garbage into our lives, mad that I did not speak up and put an end to the jokes that were clearly way over the line. Also, in the early goings of this, I was really mad and told some of my friends that she was having a breakdown and stuff like that, speaking negatively of my wife, while I was telling her that she was right, and I saw why she was angry, and that I wanted to make amends. This lying did a ton of damage, because now she doesn't know what to believe, because I've lied to her so much. She's met with a lawyer about filing for divorce. We've rented an apartment near our house where we trade off nights sleeping there. I started therapy, which has been a huge help. We have some good times where we still feel a connection, and we've had a lot of conversations that are super emotionally charged and go into the wee hours of the morning. There are a lot of acts of service I've been doing to make it up to her, and to show her I'm not a dirtbag, but she's also looking for more of an emotional connection, which is something I struggle with, but I'm working on it with my counselor. I feel like there is so much to do to make things right between us, and I love her with everything I've got. When I focus on acts of service, I'm ignoring the emotional growth side of things. When I'm focusing on emotional growth and connections, acts of service and logistics fall off the radar, which is the most recent way I've dropped the ball. We did have a very happy marriage. This has shown us, mostly me, that there was a lot of neglect to our marriage through the years that we didn't even notice until it was too late. If anyone has any advice for me, it would be great. Putting aside the, in my opinion, bullshit excuse of, oh, I can either do acts of service or be emotionally available. That's bullshit. I'm sorry, but, there is far more going on, besides the other stuff that we'll talk about, that led to the general neglect and deterioration of your marriage, not just failing to apparently juggle between acts of service or being emotionally available. Like, are you doing acts of service 24/7, and is that why you're emotionally unavailable? Because I don't think so. But now on to the actual, just catastrophic red flag that's being waved around here. You've got a group of 6 friends. 4 out of 6 are high school teachers, and you've got a guy actively referring to minors as jailbait, and by the sounds of it, because you're being a little vague, that they're making sexual nature jokes towards your students. More than once. And your solution was, hey dude, let's not talk about high school students like that. I'll just delete the messages and sweep them under the rug. Boys'll be boys, apparently. Damn, guys, my bitch wife, am I right? Am I right? Fucking Christ. Also, care to maybe elaborate a little bit more of she was having a breakdown and stuff like that, parenthesis, speaking negatively of my wife, end parenthesis. What all were you saying, buddy? Because she apparently saw that, and it was enough for her to get a lawyer involved to file for divorce. So, that on top of the fact that you unblocked who I can only assume to be Frank, or maybe Frederick, who's making jokes that could most certainly cost you your job. Yeah, dude, I don't know what to tell you. You're a high school teacher and your excuse is that you unblocked the messages because of a March Madness bracket. But honestly, to me, it looks like that you unblocked it to hear more. Yes, I had so many text message threads going on and had a hard time keeping track of all the conversations. So what was my solution? Unblocking another person for the text message threads. Yeah! Cross posted from r/relationship advice. How do I, 53 female, get my daughter, 21 female, to stop being a deadbeat? Repost number 3 because the parenting subreddit didn't like this one. Smiley face. Oh boy. I have a daughter, but I hate to admit, but she's a total loser. She wakes up, sits at her computer all day, eats, and goes back to bed. She has no friends, barely keeps up with her chores, and doesn't have a job. She's fat, ugly, and a loner. Oh my god, Regina George, calm down. Never dated, never had any friends. She's been diagnosed with ADHD and depression in the past, and she uses it as an excuse for everything. Yes, she's medicated. No, it didn't change her behavior. I allowed her to live at home while going to college, but I feel like she's taking advantage of me. I'm tired of taking care of someone who can't even make an effort to do anything productive. Okay, step 1, maybe cycle her medication to something different that might actually have an effect on her and help her. That'd be super cool. Number 2, it kind of fucking sucks that her mother's a high school bully. What is this bullshit? And not to mention, if you're so willing to voice this to strangers on the internet, I shudder at the idea of what you tell your daughter behind closed doors. Vile. So while just doing some general collection and preparing to edit this, I stumbled upon this absolutely horrific addition to the video that I feel like would be a shame to keep out of this. Expert Raccoon comments, she's fat, ugly, and a loner. OP's comment, no therapy. The last time she went into therapy, when she was 13 or 14, she was essentially wasting everyone's time. I was listening to her through the door, and she'd only talk about her days at school or some other stuff. I took her out after that. Dear Lord, let it be a troll. And God, do I also wish that, because that is vile. Cross-posted from r/AmITheAsshole. Am I the asshole for referring my friend's friend for a job after he told me not to? I live in Quebec, and I manage a small software team. We've been trying to fill a niche position for a while. It's low-level programming, and very specific. Not many people have the right skills, and on top of that, they need to speak French. A friend of mine mentioned he had a friend who might be a fit. I said, sure, send me his LinkedIn. When I got the profile, it was fully in English, and the guy had an Indian name. Based on past experience, I got cautious. I've worked with Indian candidates before, and it didn't go well. A lot of the time, they copy code off Stack Overflow or GitHub without understanding it. They also tend to exaggerate their experience to get through interviews, and many are a bit awkward in the office. Not always great at collaborating. Plus, they usually accept lower salaries, which causes pay imbalance problems. So, I told my friend something like, "This guy seems Indian and probably doesn't speak French. That's a deal breaker for us." He got defensive and said, "Fine, don't hire him then." Then he told me the guy isn't Indian, from India. He's from Reunion, which is some French overseas island I had never heard of. Apparently, it has people of Indian origin, but they're French. He said they're culturally different and westernized and speak French natively. So even if the name sounds Indian, it's not the same thing. Honestly, I didn't know this was even a thing. In Quebec, pretty much everyone with an Indian name is either a recent immigrant or from an English-speaking background. It's rare to find one who speaks native French fluently, so I thought my assumption was fair. And just to clarify before people call me racist, I don't see it that way. I'm just being honest about patterns I've seen. It's not about where someone's from, it's about behavior and results. It's overwhelmingly true in my experience that Indian hires caused issues. It's not personal, but to be blunt, in Quebec, racism isn't really aimed at Indians anyway. It's more about French versus English or language stuff. So I don't think what I said was offensive, just realistic. Anyway, later I looked again at the guy's resume and he seemed like a very strong candidate. The kind we have a hard time finding. The position was still open, so I reached out to him directly. He interviewed, did great, got the job. I wasn't part of the process since I contacted him, but he'll work closely with me. My friend just found out recently, and now he's mad. He says he told me not to refer him, and I ignored that. But he brought him up in the first place. I only said no because I had incomplete info. Once I understood the situation better, I changed my mind. I didn't think that was wrong. Now he's saying I disrespected him and crossed a line, but I feel like I made the best call for the team. I swear to God, everything that I've heard about Quebec has been nothing but negative. Why? Why is that? Why is that province so fucking hated? Is it just something where like the squeaky hinge gets the oil, and because just for some reason a lot of the angrier Canadians are just centralized in Quebec, it just makes Quebec look really bad? Because like for my entire life, I have never heard a single fucking good thing about Quebec. And I don't mean that as any disrespect to any Quebecians, but like y'all got a PR problem. And this is coming from an American. I'm very aware of the shit we have going on here. Anyway, a lifetime of Quebec slander aside. Gotta love the, I'm not racist, I was going to throw his resume out, but then I found out he wasn't Indian. He was actually from a French colony. So then we hired him. Would that be racist or culturalist? Or both? I can't tell. It feels like both. Cross posted from r/AmITheAsshole. Am I the asshole for bailing on my best friend's birthday dinner because I got a better invite? I, 26 male, have been friends with Jake, 27 male, since high school. We've always been tight, and I'd say he's one of the most reliable people I know. Jake's birthday was last weekend, and he planned a low-key dinner at a low-key restaurant with a few close friends. I RSVP'd yes weeks ago, and even helped him pick the spot. He was really excited because he's been going through a rough patch, recent breakup and work stress, and wanted a chill night with his core group. The day before the dinner, I got a last-minute invite to a concert from Sarah, 25 female, a coworker I've been crushing on for months. It was a band I've been dying to see, and she had an extra ticket because her friend bailed. She made it clear it'd just be the two of us, and I saw it as my shot to get closer to her. The concert was the same night as Jake's birthday, and I knew I couldn't do both. I decided to go to the concert and texted Jake a few hours before his dinner, saying I was feeling under the weather and couldn't make it. I didn't mention the concert because I didn't want to hurt his feelings. The concert was awesome, and Sarah and I had a great time. Definitely some sparks there. But the next day, Jake found out through a mutual friend's Instagram story that I was at the concert. He called me out, saying he was really hurt that I lied and ditched his birthday for some girl. He said it was a small gathering, so my absence was super noticeable, and he felt like I prioritized a potential date over our friendship. I apologized and explained it was a rare opportunity with Sarah and the band, but he's still mad. He said I could have been honest, and that bailing last minute made him feel like he doesn't matter to me, especially when he's been down lately. My other friends are split. Some say I'm the jerk for flaking on a best friend's birthday, others say I'm allowed to pursue a crush and Jake's overreacting. I feel bad, but I also think it's not that big of a deal since it was just a dinner, and we can hang out another time. Plus, I didn't want to miss my chance with Sarah. Am I the asshole for choosing the concert over Jake's birthday dinner and lying about why? Throwaway 235792. Am I the asshole for ditching my friend's birthday party to go to a concert? Reddit's deemed this person the asshole. Oh, by the way, we're still in the previous post from AmITheDevil. This is just going to be kind of interesting. I, 23 male, have been friends with Alex, 23 male, since we were kids. We've always been really close, but lately, I've been feeling like we're growing apart. We have different interests and lifestyles now, and I've been finding it harder and harder to relate to him. A few weeks ago, Alex invited me to his birthday party, which was going to be a big bash at his house. I said I'd go, but then I found out that my favorite band was going to be in town on that same night. I've been a huge fan of this band for years and have never had the chance to see them live. I really don't want to miss out on this opportunity, so I decided to ditch Alex's party and go to the concert instead. I tried to come up with an excuse for why I couldn't make it to this party. I told him I was feeling sick and didn't want to spread anything around, which wasn't entirely untrue. I had been feeling a little under the weather, but it wasn't the real reason I was skipping out on his party. Alex found out about the concert on social media and was really hurt that I had chosen a concert over his birthday. He called me out on it, and I tried to explain that I just really wanted to see this band and that it wasn't anything personal, but he wasn't having it. He told me that I had been a terrible friend lately and that he was sick of me always canceling plans and not making an effort to spend time with him. I didn't think it was that big of a deal to miss one birthday party, especially since I had a good excuse, or so I thought. But Alex was really upset and wouldn't talk to me for a few days. When we finally did talk, he told me that he didn't want to be friends anymore. He said that I had let him down too many times, that he deserved better than that. I tried to apologize and make things right, but he was firm in his decision to end our friendship. Now I'm left feeling guilty and wondering if I made the wrong choice. Was it really so bad to miss Alex's birthday party to go to a concert? Did I really let him down that much, or is he overreacting? Am I the asshole here? That one was posted 2 years ago. And special thanks to Jamoche_2 for pointing this out. The OP of the potentially stolen post also spends most of their time doing rage bait comments. I only found this out after I read the post, and it kind of frustrated me, and I wanted to call him out. Overall, real quick, just want to simply put the 2 cents in of, if you're actively choosing another event over your friend's birthday party, don't lie about it. Be honest at the minimum. They're not going to like what you're going to say about it, that you're missing their birthday party for a concert or whatever the hell you're going to be doing, but at least you're not lying to their face about what you're doing that night. Like, you're an adult. You're allowed to do whatever you want. But just have the courtesy to be honest and accept the consequences that are going to come with it. With the subject matter of the post somewhat covered now, and just kind of going over that in case there is any truth to this, and it's a massive fucking coincidence that both stories have the same beat-for-beat archetype here, with the only difference being a girl involved, including them finding out through social media and just all of the similarities between them. I'm inclined to believe this is either an AI-generated model that took this story, made some changes based on a prompt and spat this out, or the previous OP took the story, made modifications to it, and threw it up again on r/AmITheAsshole. I have been more cautious about when I call a post out directly for being fake because truth is stranger than fiction, and while I might certainly have my own personal doubts of the validity of a story, a lot of the times I leave it for you guys to decide on how truthful a story is, even if I feel it's only a nickel away from being a lie. Because again, truth is stranger than fiction, and if I feel like we can have a constructive conversation over the contents of the story, may as well focus on that. We have fables and fairy tales for this exact reason. This is gonna sound weird, but the thing that actually set me off for being suspicious was the fact that someone who has a frat bro archetype for writing style was using EM dashes, and the fact that someone who has a frat bro archetype style of writing. I only made 2 mistakes while recording the entire thing. that normally means, at least for me, that it's probably AI generated. AI generated posts have almost a perfect flow when it comes to grammar and narratability towards them. So in a fucked up way, if I'm able to record multiple paragraphs in a single take with no mistakes, usually that's a red flag that it might be AI generated, which then causes me to go and check the comment sections and cross-compare the grammar, as well as writing style. Which in this case, it certainly doesn't match. Which then led me down this whole rabbit hole of then checking multiple comments, and eventually I stumbled upon that one in the AmITheDevil post, and now here we are. Hey, welcome to the outro. Don't forget this whole thing is basically brought to you by GamerSupps. If you like caffeine, then I can't recommend GamerSupps enough. Use code Oz at checkout to support the channel. And I do actually use this product. It's replaced all other sources of caffeine for me because I feel good. It doesn't have any of that extra stuff that a pre-workout blend might have. It's with a couple of the extra things to make it so you don't crash as hard. It's good. I like it. Personally, if you really want a good flavor, try the Soda Pressing Pear or even the Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are my personal favorites right now.